Another mild spring day meant it's time to go out on another hike. So my friend Jeremy and we went to a spot we've never been to before. I heard about it and was told about it, so I thought we'd check it out. We barely got started with our hike and Jeremy chased down this male eastern garter snake. And this one, even though it was a bit cool to the touch, still had quite a bit of energy to wiggle around in his hands. Jeremy was showing me some of the broken ribs and healed injuries the snake has sustained throughout his life. And then he had another area too on his midsection on his right hand side where you could see where the ribs were healed from an old injury. Right there. So it just shows you just how tough and resilient reptiles can be. First birds of the day were these chipping sparrows. I believe they were chipping sparrows. They didn't have the bicolored beak that the American tree sparrow will have. That's one of the identifying features to distinguish the two. But they would fly so fast around and wouldn't really perch. It was quite hard to tell, but I'm 90% sure they were chipping sparrows. I am 100% sure that these are eastern gray squirrels, really well-fed ones too. Even this downy woodpecker wanted to come down and investigate the seeds and sweet corn that were laid out in those piles along the boardwalk here by another bird watcher who was here to get some pictures. He was just scooting around the shrubs here and the trees. More chipping sparrows in another nearby shrub. They were quite desensitized to us standing, and I think they were more intent on getting some of those seeds and sweet corn that were placed around than us around with our cameras. Even this red-winged blackbird wanted to come and investigate a little bit. As we walked along, we did see a couple dark-eyed juncos perched in the reeds. There's one of them there. Maybe it was feeding over one of those pile of seeds that were left out. And here was one of the other dark-eyed juncos here that decided to come out in the open for just a moment. The northern cardinal is a favorite amongst birders, and for good reason. The males have a beautiful fire engine red plumage, the black mask that covers their eyes, and a whole variety of songs and calls that make them very easy to distinguish when you're out in the field, when you're doing bird watching. Our second snake species for the day, this is the little Decay's brown snake, and I saw it moving in the grass, and I thought it was nothing, but it turns out it was something. It was this snake here. And I haven't seen one of these in a hot minute, so it was nice to find this species. And this one was decent size too, maybe about 20 inches. The Decay's brown snake is known for its shy and docile temperament, so you have nothing to fear when handling this little snake. We found our second eastern garter snake for the day. This one's another male, and I wanted to get a close-up while Jeremy was holding it of that really striking red tongue with the black forks that the eastern garter snake has. There's a close-up there, it flicking its tongue in and out. There you go, that's a perfect shot. Midday through the trip, it started to rain, and I don't mean just like a light drizzle, I mean it started as a drizzle and ended in a downpour. The good news is rain brings out the salamanders, like this four-toed salamander that probably wandered out from the damp leaf litter to sit on top of this log here. Here's a great example of a blue-spotted salamander, which is common to this area. And an interesting fact with the blue-spotted salamander and the Jefferson salamander is that they will actually interbreed and create two distinct all-female hybrid species that will actually breed back with male Jefferson and male blue-spotted salamanders. This genetic phenomenon is considered one of the most unique in the animal kingdom, and a great example of natural hybridization in the wild between species. The most common salamander to this area is going to be the eastern redback salamander, which is the species right here. In the distance you can hear a number of frogs calling, from western chorus frogs to wood frogs and spring peepers. The four-toed salamander can be identified from other lungless salamanders that share its habitat by the fact that it has 4 toes on the hind feet, where other species will have 5. It also has a slightly constricted tail base, like it's been pinched. It's subtle, but you can see it there. Flipping over some more logs, we found another blue-spotted salamander, and also with it is this eastern redback salamander right over here. And this was a really big eastern redback salamander too. Here's a bird's eye view of the area that Jeremy and I were exploring today. And I'm glad that the weather, even though it didn't start out the best, it did actually start to clear up, that we actually were able to finish out the day, which was great. And I always like the fact that Ontario has such a great variety of species. Depending on where you go in the province, there's always something to see here if you're willing to go and look for it. So like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this.